Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers are advised that the following program may contain images and voices of people who have died.
The Victorian town of Shepparton has a history of talented Yorta people. In the arts, singers like 60s rocker and elder statesman Jimmy Little, female pop group The Sapphires, and Australia's leading Indigenous soprano Deborah Cheetham all hail from around here. Our Yorta history also includes great political and social activists such as William Cooper and Sir Douglas Nicholls, who paved the way for social change and Indigenous rights. But this story focuses on our local sporting club, Rumbalara, which has become the heart of Shepparton's Indigenous community. My name's Paul Briggs. I've lived in the city of Shepparton here since around about 1980. I grew up on Cumragunja Aboriginal Reserve over on the Dungala, the Murray River. I've been living and working in this area since then. The city of Shepparton is on the traditional lands of the Kalithaban, members of the part of the Yorta Nations, and Shepparton is 2 hours north of Melbourne on the Goulburn River or the Kaila, and about 45 minutes from the New South Wales Victorian border. There's a general population of about 65,000 people in the greatest Shepparton area, and there's approximately 4,000 or thereabouts Indigenous peoples. Like lots of Aboriginal people, we take on lots of roles in our community, and I'm the founding president of the Rumbalara Football Netball Club, which we established in 1997. It's become the heart place of Aboriginal community, and the motto is Proud Strong Family, which is just reaffirming our sense of connectedness amongst Aboriginal families in the Goulburn Valley area.
My name is Alf Turner from Maribna. I grew up at Cumragunja and I went to school there. There would have been at that time about 500 people on Cumragunja Mission Station. And I had the football team there that I used to follow. My family used to take me around every Saturday to barracks for them. And in 1939, there was a walk-off Cumra. Most of the people on Cumra walked off and brought their belongings across in boats. They stayed there and camped on this side of the river, on the Victorian side, for about 12 months, and then they came across here to Shepparton, Maribna, and that's why we've got such a big population here in Shepparton area, because most of those people came from Cumragunja.
The Rumbalara Football Netball Club derives its name from a transitional housing estate that was established in the 1950s when Aboriginal people who were living on the riverbanks and living on the tip sites and around the edges of Shepparton were transitioned into community housing in the 1960s. During the 50s, Rumbalara was established to be a part of that transitional housing approach, and whilst it housed people during the 50s, by the 1960s it ceased as transitional housing, and now is the centrepiece, I suppose, of our service delivery and our advocacy body in the Goulburn Valley, which the Rumbalara Cooperative was established there in 1973. The name Rumbalara means end of the rainbow. The Rumbalara Football Netball Club adopted that name during the 1980s when we were playing social football against other Aboriginal teams, and we'd travel to Melbourne or we'd travel to Adelaide or we'd travel to Darwin as an Aboriginal football club, socialising with other Aboriginal communities. We advocated to establish our own club in a mainstream competition, and we were successful after 15 years of advocacy.
My name is Saray Atkinson. I'm a 21-year-old Yorta Yorta woman from Shepparton. I've grown up here since I was about 2 years old. Played at the Rumbalara Football Netball Club since I was 6 years old. I currently attend Melbourne University. I work for Rumbalara Football Netball Club in the Manara Youth Futures program. The club is, for me, every time I drive through the gates and see a football netball club, it's like it's home. Like I feel like I own the club. We've been here before this room was built, and when it was just a paddock, pretty much. I remember Dad, Uncle Paul, myself, Uncle Mark, Uncle Johnny Murray, one of my other brothers. We came out here, and Dad and they were all telling us there's going to be a football netball club here. And we were just like, no way. We were standing at the gates, and it was a paddock, and that was it.
And Georgia, you can be further.
The Football and Netball Club today, it's another example of one of those things that Yorta Yorta people have done, have accomplished, and it allows a tangible physical relationship to happen between the Yorta Yorta community through the football club and the wider community people through those towns that we play football and netball every Saturday with, to have a social experience, come together and, start to learn about existing with one another.
This week against Gigutna, we worry about what we have to do. It's only going to get like this, especially coming into the finals, isn't it?
We were successful in 1997 to have it established, and it fields 4 football teams and 9 netball teams.
My roles at the Football Netball Club is I'm the under-15s coach, also a co-coach of the A-grade team and the captain of the A-grade team.
Oh, good shot.
Probably the most unique thing about the Rumbalara Football Netball Club, it's run by Aboriginal people, like my dad and Uncle Paul and Uncle Mark and Uncle Johnny Murray and a few others. They were the backbone of the club. But now we have non-Aboriginal people playing. We have, people from everywhere that play with the club now. But the most unique thing is that, it's a place where we get together.
Shepparton itself has been it's a challenging environment for Aboriginal people. I suppose it's how safe people feel, depending on what their history's been like. And we spend 99.9% of our time interfacing with Western modelling of community and with the town, and every day negotiate our existence. The majority of non-Aboriginal people don't have a reason to engage with Aboriginal people, so they don't come to us. You have to drop your sense of identity to engage, I think. I think that's the assimilative view of, and it was quite apparent, I think, in the early days of trying to get the club going, that people, why do you need an Aboriginal club? Why don't you just mix in? Why don't you just fit in with everybody? People don't want to have to be challenged by difference. And I think it's been quite stressful over generations trying to eke out a living and an existence in an environment that really doesn't want you to be a part of it. But all of the authorities say that that's where you belong. That's where you're put.
I remember, I think it must have been in about grade 1 and the Yorta Yorta native title claim started, and Dad was like really heavily involved in that, so we went to all the court hearings, all that kind of stuff. And I remember I think that was probably my worst year at school. Racism got really bad that year, and I was like 7 years old, so I was getting called a nigger, that kind of stuff when I was at school. It was pretty bad. I think they definitely started carrying on once the native title hearing came to Shepparton, and they were I think they were afraid that they didn't know what the native title meant. Some people actually thought we were coming to take all their land and their houses back and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, they were pretty worried. But I wonder, now I think, what 7-year-olds know those kind of things to say. It has to come from their parents, obviously.
Like most Australian schools, Shepparton has many nationalities among its 580 pupils. Here's Kelvin Haskell, aged 7, dancing with an Aboriginal girl, Vicky Sinclair.
It's more the subtleness of the way culture operates in black-white relationships in regional Victoria or places like Shepparton. And there's a general feeling that you almost have to keep your head down. The Rumbalara Football Netball Club challenged that notion that we have to keep our head down. It put us out on the public stage, and it's challenged Aboriginal, our mob, and white mob, that there's a social engagement happening here that won't happen in any other environment.
Shepparton has raised awareness of Aboriginal people, and I think it's got better. From when I was a kid, I haven't really felt it. I haven't been in a shop and not being served or anything like that. Nothing like that. But whereas I've heard, my parents' stories. My mum, my nan was born on the step of a hospital because she wasn't allowed to go. Her mother wasn't allowed to go into the hospital. That kind of thing. And I think my sport has helped, because a lot of people know me because I played netball and I've represented the town and the state and the country, that kind of stuff. They know that I'm more than just Aboriginal. They don't just say, oh, there's that Aboriginal girl, which I think is probably a good way to break barriers here, is being known for not just being Aboriginal. That's probably a big part of you and the obvious thing, but, being, good at something.
We definitely know that non-Aboriginal people feel unsafe coming into an Aboriginal world because they've never had to do it, and they've never been challenged by it, and there's no imperative for them to do it. The Football Netball Club forces that interaction, and it's a learning curve, because it's not just about football netball. It's about Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people, and it's about our capacity to look after ourselves and sustain ourselves and be viewed as a distinct body of people living in the diversity of the city of Greater Shepparton.
The club's definitely the heart of our community. Whether you play football or netball or not, it's still a place that sometimes you just need to be around community and family and stuff. People just come to the club just to get that hit of family. It's definitely, I think, definitely the heart of Shepparton. And that's even the wider community starting to view the Football Netball Club as the heart of Shepparton. I've been in Melbourne, and it's kind of not really a central place where you can say, yeah, I've got in touch with everyone else from the community there, other than if you're sick and you go to the health service or something like that. So we're lucky that we have the Football Netball Club where everyone comes here.
The football club became the target, I suppose, for us to sort of say, well, as a club, as a community, we need these sorts of tools that can hold us together as a people. And that most towns in country Victoria or here in Shepparton will have football and netball clubs or cricket clubs or tennis clubs or apex clubs or Lions clubs that identify them as unique individual communities and towns, And Aboriginal community, we didn't have that. We didn't have those sorts of infrastructure to support us.
The programs that the club have are for the wider community. Some people don't play football and netball, but they're still part of the club through these programs. The club has the Monara Youth Futures program, which is the program that I work for. And they also have Rumba Ripples, which is the employment program. They have the Healthy Lifestyles program, which they provide memberships to the gym and that kind of stuff, so that's pretty good. Then they have ASH, the Academy of Sport, Health and Education.
The ASH program started in 2004 as far as running classes. And we didn't have any students, we had one staff member, and we had a program to try to get off the ground and deliver and get some results within 2 years. And that was in 2005, and we're 2011 now, and we're going great guns. A day in ASH or a week in ASH is nearly a whole life experience, from first thing in the morning to what sort of food you eat, and where they can come in and have breakfast, and also lunch and morning tea, so we can promote healthy eating and lifestyles. But then on the other side of it then becomes the education part of it, where the classroom becomes alive and there's access to computers.
So what type of insurance?
But we have Certificate 2, 3, 4 courses which are running, and every student is enrolled in one of them or is doing a bridging course between where they're at in their education level 2, maybe Cert 2. And there's a physical side where they are encouraged to get out, and we do physical activities as well.
This year at Athletics, which is an annual get-together of all the schools, and we teach all the primary schools a few traditional games and that kind of thing. They unveiled Rumba Girl for the first year, where I dressed up as a superhero, and it was alongside Ashman, who I think he's been around for 2 or 3 years now. He has his own little rap and own little dance and that kind of thing.
How does any superhero come about? I don't know. I mean, sometimes you only find it when you watch the movie, Like, how did Batman become Batman? Ashman, well, Ashman's come out of nowhere, really. He's just turned up, and he's larger than life. He gets around to the young people and tells them, this is the sort of things you need to put into your body. Good food and drink plenty of water. Education, get to learn, and then you can dream and you can achieve your goals and your visions. But I think he just represents, I suppose, the alter ego of most of our young people, is that, I'm out there, I've got, he's got his suit on.
Smile, be happy, eat healthy food, be active, drink plenty of water, respect yourself and others, and stay in school.
Generally after the game, straight after the game, emotions are running high, especially if we've had a big win or a big loss. On a Sunday, I usually catch up with Belinda and Kylie, and we'll go to the pool and do our recovery, and then we'll debrief on the game. So we'll get there at 12, hopefully go in, get ready, talk about what we're going to do. I think it's really important because we are family, and sometimes things that happen on the court, you don't want to affect your whole life, but because we take it so seriously, we need to debrief to make sure that we're not taking it away with us in everyday life. We're just that's netball. What has happened isn't personal, or that kind of thing. So I think it's really important that we do that. It's a bit rainy here in Kingupna. The under-17s are playing at the moment, and also we have the under-13s playing. I have both my sisters playing at the moment, Minjara and Nalinya Atkinson. Minjara's doing all right, Nalinya's doing pretty good as well. We had a game plan, but it might be a bit hard to stick to now that it's raining. But we go on to play at 1:30 today.
We've got another chance to make the finals. How many chances have we been given? It's like someone's trying to say to us, do you want it? So, we really need to ask ourselves, do we want it, girls?
But I don't know, I reckon we can win today.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
3, 2, 1, Rumba!
education is one of those tools you needed to be able to look after yourself, develop socially and economically, but also then to have the tools to go and represent your people, you know, and argue people's point of view in this country. So Saray going to university for our family, it was one of the major steps forward from that sort of philosophy that was put forward by those past leaders. Become good people, basically. We put our own values, and that's important. Our own moral values need to be encompassed and ingrained in our children.
My name's John Murray. I'm just enjoying watching the games and the boys play with my grandson. I'm one of the founding members of the footy club. I've just retired from being on the committee after so many years. I'm enjoying it, just being on the opposite side, like, you know, rather than being caught up in the administration side of things on the football. We've built a foundation for the younger generations and they're doing quite good now. It's been a great journey, it really has been, and I enjoyed every minute of it. We had our ups and downs and brick walls we faced, but we overcame those hurdles, and this is where we are today, enjoying the fruits of the hard work that's been done by everyone.
What is a value that the Rumbalara Football Netball Club brings to the city of Greater Shepparton or sport in general?
We are the boys from Rumbalara!
People tend to isolate it to what's marketable. It's more around sport attributes and the ability for that attributes to be turned into economic outcomes. But it's in our interest to try and, it's in Aboriginal interest to keep pushing and forging this relationship, because we have to design a future for ourselves. I think that's the importance of the club, you know, to keep flying our identity.
When I was about 17, I was, you know, playing netball. That was my life. But now I've kind of come to terms that, yeah, you need to do other stuff other than netball. But my main goal, and like what I feel, what I was put here to do, I want Aboriginal kids to get through school, and Aboriginal kids should have the same opportunities as every other kid. Like, there should be nothing that we need extra or that we need less of because we're Aboriginal.
A core group of leaders stuck with the vision for over 20 years. So it wasn't as if we come together for 1 or 2 years and had a go and then decided it was too hard and disappeared. It was over 20 years that we stuck on this notion that we wanted to develop, we wanted to have an Aboriginal football netball club. There was a core group of Aboriginal men and women who socialised and worked and played together and stuck to the vision over a long period of time.
Since I left Shepparton and come back, I definitely think now I want to work with our community here. You know, I don't want to work with any other community until we've got our community here, right? Hope to finish my degree end of next year and then go from there.
Saray, my daughter, is probably part of the legacy that Sir Doug Nicholls was pushing for, to get, quality, a fair go for Yorta people. They can go on and become the next, future leaders, and we can feel confident that, we've done our bit as leaders today, to nurture the next generation of good Yorta leaders.
It's been fruitful, it's been a fruitful thing. So what's here today now that we're experiencing is testament to the longevity of that vision and the energies of the men and women of people here in Shepparton.